Welcome to Story Grove, where we share screen-free stories for kids without noisy advertisements. We hope you enjoy. I wasn't trying to find a genie. I was trying to find the remote. It had disappeared again, probably between the couch cushions, which in our house is less of a place and more of a bottomless pit full of lost socks, cereal crumbs, and the occasional plastic lizard. I dug, and instead of the remote, my fingers closed around something cold and metal. It was a lamp, not a normal lamp like the kind you plug in. This one was curved like a teapot, about the size of a football, and covered in glittery swirls that shimmered faintly in the light. There was a little message on the side in tiny gold letters. They said, "Rub responsibly." Naturally, I rubbed it. There was a moment of silence and then the lamp wobbled. Then with a boom, a cloud of glittery smoke exploded out of it, filling the entire room with sparkles and the strong smell of cinnamon gum. From the smoke emerged a man in fuzzy slippers, a wrinkled robe covered in banana prints, and sunglasses shaped like lightning bolts. He looked around, blinked at the mess, then coughed. "Whew, that lamp is getting cramped. What year is it? Who's president? Have they invented floating pizzas yet?" I backed up. Hi? "Ah, my summoner." He tried to bow, but tripped on the edge of the rug and fell into the ottoman. "I am Greg, formerly a powerful and majestic wish-granting genie. Currently, on temporary reassignment." "Wait, you're a real genie?" "In the flesh, or at least in the magical vapour that resembles flesh. You, my friend, get 3 wishes." I stared. "Anything?" Greg coughed and pulled out a clipboard. "Right, about that. There's been a bit of an administrative mix-up. Technically, I'm not allowed to grant classic wishes right now. My license is being, reviewed." "What can you do?" "Chores," he said, beaming. "I am fully licensed in the Domestic Magics Division. Magical chores, very sparkly, somewhat unpredictable." I blinked. "So instead of 3 wishes, I get 3 chores?" "Magical chores," he said helpfully. "It's more exciting than it sounds, I promise. Probably." He snapped his fingers, and a scroll popped into existence, hovering in mid-air like a floating to-do list. It unrolled with a very dramatic sound. "Wish 1, clean the kitchen." Before I could say anything, the scroll poofed away, and I was standing in the kitchen. The sink roared to life. Soapy water overflowed the sides. Bubbles burst from the faucet, huge and glimmering like balloons. And they had faces. One looked at me and said, "Oh no, not this kid. Didn't you burn the toast last week?" Another bubble giggled. "He's gonna mix up the forks and spoons. Just watch." The bubbles zipped around the room, bumping into each other and making extremely rude comments about my dish-stacking skills. One tried to take over as Chief Suds Coordinator and kept shouting instructions in a British accent. It took me over an hour to get the dishes clean. Every time I tried to rinse, the bubbles argued. Every time I reached for a sponge, it floated away. One bubble started singing opera and wouldn't stop unless I promised to clean under the microwave. When I was finally done, the bubbles popped in unison, releasing a burst of clean, lemony air and glitter. I stumbled into the living room, soaked from head to toe. Greg was there, reading a magazine upside down and drinking tea from my favourite mug. "Not bad," he said. "The bubbles liked you. Mostly." "I don't want to clean any more," I muttered. He obviously wasn't listening. He snapped his fingers again and yelled, "Time for wish number 2, vacuuming the living room." A vacuum rolled into the room all by itself. It was gold, glittery, and suspiciously humming the Jaws theme. The carpet under my feet rippled. "Hold on to your socks," Greg said. Before I could ask why, the vacuum launched itself at the carpet like a tiny dragon, and the carpet kicked. Yes, the carpet came to life and started wriggling like a giant snake. Every time I tried to run the vacuum over it, the carpet would bounce, roll, or yank itself across the room. Pillows went flying. The coffee table levitated for a moment before crash landing. I tripped over a couch cushion and got tangled in the curtains. Eventually, I tricked the carpet by distracting it with a bowl of popcorn and vacuumed the whole thing while it was too busy munching. Greg clapped. Impressive! Most people don't make it past the vacuum. Is there a third chore? I asked, already dreading it. Oh, yes, Greg said, eyes twinkling as he spoke. The grand finale. Let's see. He pulled out the scroll again, let it unfurl, and read wish number 3, clean your room. He handed me a broom with a long handle, a glowing bristle head, and a tiny face drawn on it with marker. Hello? Said the broom. You left crackers under your bed 3 days ago. I did not, I started to protest. Yes, you did, it interrupted. And your closet smells like forgotten cheese. Greg grinned. Good luck. Cleaning with the truth broom was the hardest thing yet. Every time I tried to hide a mess under the bed, it yelled, unacceptable. When I tried to throw old papers into the closet, it shouted, you still need to return that library book. When I found a mysterious sock and tried to ignore it, it muttered, that's not yours. That belongs to your neighbour's dog. By the end, the room was sparkling clean. The broom sighed, patted my shoulder with its bristles, and disappeared in a cloud of lavender-scented smoke. I sat on the floor exhausted. Greg floated in through the door. Well, that's all 3. You're the worst genie ever, I said grumpily. He looked offended. Excuse me, I gave you a spotless kitchen, a tamed carpet, and a bedroom so clean it sparkles. I didn't wish for any of that. He handed me a note card. It read, the wishes you think you want aren't always the wishes you need. Love, Greg. You've been in that lamp for too long, I muttered. Greg gave me a sly smile. Oh, by the way, you might want to check your sock drawer. I opened it. Inside, nestled between 2 mismatched socks, was a single golden coin. It shimmered and glowed and had an engraving of a smiling broom on one side and a vacuum waving on the other. There was also a note with the coin. Good for 1 real wish. Use it wisely. Cannot be redeemed for ponies. I looked up. Greg was already fading, his body turning to sparkles and mist. Wait, I said, you're leaving. Gotta go. Got another summoning in Milwaukee. Someone lost their favourite spoon. Will I see you again? I asked, surprised that I was actually going to miss him. Probably. Just don't rub any more glittery things unless you're very sure. And with a final pop, he vanished. I tucked the coin into my pocket. That night, my parents asked why the house smelled like lemons and magic. I just smiled. I didn't tell them about Greg, or the truth broom, or the popcorn-eating carpet. But I did think very hard about what I actually wanted, if I ever decided to use that real wish. Because I learned something important. Even the world's worst genie might be exactly the kind you need, especially if your carpet has ever tried to bite you. Thanks for listening to today's story. We hope you enjoyed it and feel calm and cozy. If you'd like more screen-free, ad-free and wholesome stories, don't forget to follow our channel. Or hop on over to our YouTube channel for even more wholesome screen-free tales. See you next time.